and gathering. They have not discovered agriculture yet, so we are still walking around as nomads looking for our food, following it around, hunting, gathering berries. Remember that with hunters and gatherers, that men in the early humans realm, they were the hunters, and the women would be the gatherers, and they would take care of the young. Okay. Where do you pick to live? How did it work in the Stone Age? Wherever the food was, wherever the resources were. So if the resources were gone, then you needed to move elsewhere. So that's where we get the nomadic tribes of people who are going to roam the earth in search for resources and food for their own survival. When we talk about agricultural revolution leading to civilizations, when you have people farming and staying in one area, it's human nature for humans to, stick near each other and settle down in areas together. So with farming and the agricultural revolution, people building homes, you're going to have a population that's going to rise and it's going to grow larger. So you eventually have the formation of civilizations, which when we talk about civilizations, you understand that they are an organized area of people. Okay, it's an advanced state of human society. It's complex, but they have formal organization. They have governments, things like that. Now, when we talk about a civilization being affected by contact with people through trade, that is a prime example of cultural diffusion. Okay, you get people interacting with Middle Eastern people interacting with Europeans via trade. You're going to get an exchange of different cultures, different beliefs, different ways of trading. Advancement in technology will all benefit, through cultural diffusion. Geographical feature in which the first cities were near. You should know this by now. You must farm, so what do you need when you farm? You need water. So a lot of civilizations arose near fertile river valleys or fertile rivers, because with water you can have irrigation. You can have a water source that you can bathe in, drink, and water your crops, which are the needs that you have for survival. The first civilization is Sumer, and Sumer is located in Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, the word Mesopotamia means between two rivers, and the two rivers that it is located between are the Tigris and Euphrates. Okay, both of these rivers offer water, which helps the Mesopotamia or people in Sumer, the Sumerians, farm and maintain their civilization. The Code of Hammurabi. Remember that Hammurabi was a general, and he took over a civilization and established the first written laws. I've described in detail, and I'm going to do it again, the significance of written law. Literally, they put things in stone back then, so it was set in stone, and it was a set of laws that described the type of laws and punishments that would occur if you did something that was not beneficial and it was detrimental to the civilization. So when we talk about an eye for an eye, if you steal, you lose your hand. That type of mentality. And the significance of written law is that written law can not easily be disputed. Okay, it's just like Miss Cannon used the example of my syllabus in my class. You sign my syllabus at the beginning of the semester. It's an agreement between you and I and your parents that you will maintain and follow my rules. Okay, and those rules are up in the classroom. You know my expectations. So when you break a rule or a behavior, those are my code of laws. And there are consequences and punishments. Now, I'm no Hammurabi, so I'm not going to, physically harm you. But when we talk about Hammurabi and how significant it is, it's because that code of law is written word. It is something that's not easily disputed, but it also adds accountability to the citizens in the civilization. You don't want to break the rules because there are consequences, and it helps the civilization and society run smoothly. With your chart for Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and China, I will review over that in class tomorrow, so that is something that we'll look at and work on as a class. Moving on to number 15 on your review. In general, what do the following geographic features provide for civilization? Let's remember that rivers, and if you don't remember now, I hope you get it now, because I have said this 1,000 times this semester. Rivers are significant in the sense that they offer many, many things to a civilization, but first and foremost, it helps your crops. Farming is essential. With farming, you can have food. With food, you have growth of population, because if you have more mouths to feed, you got to have the food. And water enables civilizations to thrive because you can bathe, you can boil, you can drink it, you can farm, you can do several things with water. Without water, you will not thrive. With rivers, you can get on the river and head to the ocean and trade with other civilizations. When we talk about mountains, mountains are awesome for protection, as well as deserts. People, the greatest civilization that solidifies this type of protection via mountains and desert is China. China has the Himalayas and the Gobi Desert. People don't want to cross a mountain to come fight you. Number one, during this time, they don't have Range Rovers and vehicles that could just go over mountains and can handle it. Guys, they have like cows and horses, okay? And you certainly don't want to climb up and down mountains to go, and then you get down the mountain and you get through the desert and you're exhausted and you're going to go try to fight or take over a civilization. So when you talk about mountains and deserts, they offer a great amount of protection to civilizations. When we're discussing the mandate of heaven in relation to the civilization China, the mandate of heaven is going to say that the rulers of China are ordained or chosen by the gods or the higher beings in their civilization. By now you should understand that a dynasty is a family of rulers and their royalty. And the dynastic cycle, every time you hear dynastic cycle, you should think of dynasty, which is a family of rulers, and understand that a dynastic cycle always has a rise and a fall. Okay? So I hope that this video has helped you get through Unit 1.